Hey everybody, it's Gil here with the Sailing Vessel Dream Chaser, and forgive the slight camera bounce, but my gimbal just decided to start going crazy, just getting all nervous and jerky and bouncing around. Thought I'd take a couple minutes today and talk a little bit about boat ownership, sailing/cruising, and fear. Yeah, fear can unfortunately slow you down a little bit for sure, and that's kind of what's happening right now. As you guys know, the boat's in Louisiana. We're in Southwest Florida. We have a strong desire to sail it back here across the Gulf of Mexico. And she still needs a little work. I feel nervous about it. I'm not sure that it's 100% ready. And everybody always says, you gotta go and you gotta go now. But I'm nervous about it. And it's been really weighing on me. It's frustrating. It's not something that I like to admit because, quite frankly, my ego doesn't want to let that happen. But yeah, I've made all kinds of little excuses and reasons as to, why now's not the right time, and some of them have some validity. But at some point, you got to just drop the line and put it out there. I really do want to sail this boat a little further on my own before I just hop into it and decide to take a single-handed trip across part of the Gulf of Mexico, especially after such an extensive refit, on an older boat. Yeah, it's really nerve-wracking, and I don't even like admitting it, actually. It's absolutely an ego thing. I've had people say, "Oh, I'll come with you," and I feel great about that. I'm thrilled that they would. However, I also feel a certain level of responsibility, and again, my ego doesn't want to allow me to have somebody else maybe see me not be great at what I think I'm doing. And that's challenging as well. So that's one aspect of it. Deb and I have sailed quite a bit, and in our Gulf Star, we sailed in the Gulf of Mexico and multi-day passages, no issue. And we thought, well, the two of us will do it. But then we have the girls, and I definitely don't want the girls going offshore, the young'uns, on this first kind of trip. So then it was, well, maybe we have somebody come watch the girls, and then we take the trip. And we could probably do that as well. But I haven't arranged it. So is there a logical reason why I haven't arranged it, or is it, again, a bit of the nerves? Yeah. Been tough. And admitting that's actually a little tough. I've even thought a lot about making an easy trip. Sail the ICW, and I could do it single-handedly. You don't have to do overnight passages that way. You can stop each night somewhere. And the area which we would take it across the ICW would be fairly populated, but that only goes so far. That only goes to Carabel, Florida, and then you must go outside at least to Tarpon Springs, which is a shorter trip, but it's probably longer, and there's no sense in going from Carabel to Tarpon Springs when you could probably just go from Pensacola directly down to Port Charlotte or Charlotte Harbor, which is south of Tampa. As all of a sudden, it doesn't make sense to hug the coast that whole way for a false sense of security that you're still going to have to take the leap and go do anyway. I've even considered seeing if somebody will sail it back, hiring a captain. And again, I mentioned before, my ego struggles with that, for sure. But yeah, but I think that may be an option. I'm going to look into it and see what that might run. I could have done this a year ago probably and didn't. And if we do end up going the route of, having a delivery captain just bring it over here, yeah, I could have saved a lot of money, right? Between slip rent and electric and insurance sitting in the, in the marina where it's at, still have to have insurance on it, but not necessarily the same levels. That's $6,000 right there in the last year. So, yeah, it's, man. I'm going to put this out there, and I know I'm going to get people that are going to offer to help and to make the trip, and that's great. But, again, it comes down to I'm not 100% sure that that's the right choice for me right now. And the worst part of it is every single day, I think to myself, oh, my God, I wish the boat was here. I wish I could go out in the harbor for a little while. I wish I could go out for an overnight sail. I wish I could go anchor somewhere. I wish I could finish a couple of the things that I still think are pretty important for us to want to do before we make longer trips, like down to Key West. But it's just this jump that requires you to go offshore for 3 to 4 days. That's the one that's the one in this boat. I'm not sure of yet. I'm confident in all the work I've done, confident in the work the yard's done. I've often joked that the boat's more maybe potentially, not even maybe potentially. I've always said that the boat is more capable than its skipper. So, what really got me thinking a lot about this is our friends just bought a catamaran. And, I was saying to them, I'd love to take the trip with you. We'll go from Miami down around Key West and come back up the west coast of Florida. And really excited about that. And, they were saying, geez, we have some work we have to do on it. We're going to have to get a little bit more stuff done. It's not going to be something we can do right away. And all of a sudden he started talking about having it brought over, a delivery captain. And it surprised me because I sort of look up to this person as a better sort of captain than I am. And has also made the same exact trip, by the way. Made the same trip in some pretty rough weather, which is always in the back of my mind, the trip that we have to make. It's always in the back of my mind as well. But hearing him say that and talking about, frankly, the money he would save if we did it is also maybe leading a little credence to this potential idea of attempting to have a delivery captain bring the boat over. That's not to say that I'm afraid of sailing in general. Certainly not comfortable with the boat yet. So the thought was, man, if I had somebody bring it here, I could continue to get anything I want to do done on it right there in the back of the house. And I know some of you are going to say the classic cruising problem or dreamer's problem, right? There's always one more project. And certainly I would agree. That's certainly a problem. But having it here means that I could continue to do general maintenance. Sitting for a year is challenging. I talked to my daughter just the other night and had her try to start the generator. And of course the battery's dead on the generator because it hasn't been started in a month. Just little things like that require constant maintenance or at least upkeep. And, when you're 12 hours away, it's not easy to do that. And boats wear out a lot faster when they're not being used than when they are. And that's the harsh reality of it. So if it were here, I'd be able to get that general sort of maintenance done. Deb and I would be able to ease into leveraging and using this boat, Dream Chaser, in a way that would let us, go out on a Friday night or Friday afternoon and come back on a Sunday morning and just, anchor and hang out in the harbor around Charlotte Harbor or Gasparilla Sound. We'd be able to pop around on all the little islands that are out here and just do some sightseeing, which would be phenomenal as well. Yeah, it's a direction I'm leaning. I actually haven't called yet. I mean, I may call and find out it's $10,000 to have the boat delivered, in which case I'll probably have a different opinion, but that's at least where I'm going right now. And yeah, be kind in the comments. I got to tell you, it's not easy to kind of admit this. And I have to imagine that there's a lot of people that are boaters or sailors that have some of these thoughts. I've had them for a while and have just hidden them because I wasn't sure. I certainly didn't want to share that lack of confidence externally in some areas. And what's funny is it's I don't know what it is now, if it's because we have the girls, so I'm that much more conscious of the consequences of a problem, because hell, Deb and I bought Last Affair and we spent 1 week kind of cleaning it up, getting familiar with it. We took one little ride off of the dock to see how she handled, and then we sailed across the Gulf of Mexico over toward we came in near Mobile Bay and then took the ICW back over to Texas. But that was the first time we'd ever been in the ocean in a sailboat, and no hesitation. I mean, some nerves that first night, but that was it. Not something that was, I don't want to say paralyzing, but certainly immobilizing, which is what this has been. And the funny thing is, my daughter has been living now on Last Affair or Dream Chaser in our absence, mainly Last Affair now, for, she's been living on the boat either with us or on her own on the boat while we've been here for 3 years almost now, 2.5, 3 years. And the funny thing is, she's been talking about, at some point wanting to potentially, move to Florida, be closer to the girls. And the funny thing about that is, I was asking her, you think about an apartment or looking at a little house? What are you thinking? And she says, I really, really like living on the boat. Next time I come down, I'd love to sort of look at some marinas, check them out, see if there's a place where we could do that. So, yeah, it's interesting to hear just how excited she is about that, too. Kind of cool. There's certainly going to be a lot more to contemplate. Haven't completely made a decision on this yet, but my lack of decision for the last 3 and 4 months that I've for valid reasons said I wouldn't do during hurricane season, especially with as many as there have been. But now we're coming toward the end of hurricane season, and I'm feeling still equally as apprehensive. So anyway, oh well. I know this isn't the typical video, but this has been on my mind for a long time, and I talk a lot on this channel about all the things we do with our boat and how much we enjoy it and all the things we want to do and the fact that we want to cruise and we can't wait to sail the boat back across the Gulf of Mexico. I should say we can't wait to get the boat here. Sailing it across the Gulf of Mexico is clearly not something that is top of mind for me, and it's got me a little bit nerved. So anyway, safe sailing. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll talk to you later. Be kind.